Hey y'all. So I want to talk to you about this new show on Netflix called Trigger Warning with Killer Mike. Have you guys heard of this show? It is like totally trippy. All right, I've gotten through the first 2 episodes. My husband had been telling me little clips that he saw, or he actually has been watching it without me. So finally I was like, okay, let me catch up. Let me see what this is all about. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, it is crazy. It's so hilarious, so entertaining, and the topics are really interesting. I'm not super familiar with Killer Mike, to be honest with you. I know he's a rapper and activist, and he could be controversial at times. I know there was a bunch of controversial about the whole gun violence stuff. And so anyway, if you haven't seen the show and you don't want me to spoil anything, don't continue watching. If you haven't seen it though, you totally have to check it out. So I'll get into what the show is about, the first 2 episodes next. Okay, so the very first episode was about Killer Mike trying to live in the Black economy for 3 days. So I don't know if you guys have heard the statistics, but there are statistics out there that show how long does a dollar circulate within its own community. So I think that, is it Asians? I think Asian people might have the longest community circulation, which is like 23 days. And then white people and Jewish people have 22 days or 21 days. And Latino people, they have a couple of days. Black people have 6 hours, y'all. 6 hours. That's how long. If you make $1, you can keep that same dollar circulating, strictly buying goods within your community that are produced by Black people. And so Killer Mike challenged himself to live for 3 days only consuming the Black economy, which basically meant having to sacrifice doing a lot of normal things that you would like to do. So essentially, Killer Mike found himself being completely deprived of almost everything that was even in his house. I mean, he couldn't drive a car because Black people don't manufacture cars. He couldn't really drink anything in his refrigerator. He couldn't even smoke weed, y'all. Oh, the horror. I thought you could just grow your own weed though. But anyway, I'm not a weed smoker. I don't know. So he encountered all these challenges, and it really brought to the forefront just how little we produce as Black people in a Black community. We don't own utility companies. We don't own transportation companies. We are not manufacturers. We are a consumer-based economy, and we're a service-driven provider in this economy. So that's something that we have to work on. And the show doesn't try to resolve that, but it does draw attention to, first of all, there are some areas where there are Black people that are producing things, and we need to make more of an effort to support those things. And it just makes us more aware of how little we actually control in the economy in terms of being producers. So while the first episode was all Black and I'm proud and let's try to support Black business, second episode just went completely to the left. Okay, this episode was about teaching people, education, approaches to education. And so it started off completely like trolling us. I mean, he was talking to Killer Mike visited an elementary school, and there was a great scene where the little Black boy is saying how he doesn't like school, and somebody called his skin poop, and Killer Mike was like, no, your skin is not poop, you're a beautiful Black child. And then so this white kid interrupts, and he's like, hold on, Jimmy. I don't know what his name is, I'm assuming Jimmy. And he tells him hey, you just interrupted him, and so if I allow you to do that, then you're teaching him his first lesson in white privilege. So I thought that was a nice little check right there. Teach him young. But Killer Mike proceeded to tell these kids that they can't be president and they can't dream. Whoa. Too far, Killer Mike, too far. So after a talk with the principal, who shoots down his idea of trying to teach kids, like kids under 12 or 10 or whatever, to be carpenters rather than to dream a little bigger. And there's no shade to carpenters, but I'm just saying, I don't think that kids need to be learning how to lay carpet and hardwood floors in elementary school. But anyways, he moves on to other pastures. So he takes his approach to adults, and basically comes up with this genius idea to use porn. I don't really mean genius. It's his version of genius idea, to use porn to teach vocational things like, how to unclog a sink, or how to, change a socket or a doorknob, and hilarity ensues, guys. I mean, I cannot do it any justice. You have to watch the reactions to how this works out. So, moral of the story, I'm on episode 2. I'm going to watch episode 3. I think it's 6 or 7 episodes. So I will be back, but before I got too deep into it and before I forgot all the super crazy, outrageous things that happened, I had to say, check this show out, guys. I mean, this is wild, crazy stuff, but I love it. You know, it kind of reminds me of my what's his name? Terrence Nance. HBO. He had a late night show called Random Acts of Flyness, and that was like a super trippy show. I did a post about it last year. If you haven't checked that out, that's another one that you should check out. But it reminds me of like a little bit more practical and topical version of Random Acts of Flyness, if that was your thing. So check out, like I said, I'm not getting paid. This is not a plug. This is me trying to put you guys up on some interesting shit. Check out Trigger Warning with Killer Mike.